Yeah, exactly, right? Praise the Lord, everyone. Welcome to the Huddle. That's right, a special time, special edition of 10 a.m. in the morning. The Huddle is here. Grab yourself a cup of coffee. It's time to huddle up because this morning we're going to be talking about 5 tips that are going to help you to have a better and engaging live stream with your audience, those who are part of your community and those you want to be a part of your community right now on the Huddle. Praise the Lord, everyone. Welcome to the Huddle. I'm your host, Walter Strong. If you're new here and you want to broaden your reach, your impact, and income through online video, then we want to welcome you to the show. This morning, as always, we have another dynamic guest here on the Huddle. This man, in my opinion, is taking live streaming tutorials and just the whole art of live streaming to the next level. To the next level. So let's get into his bio this morning, and then we're going to turn him loose here on the Huddle community here at 10 a.m. in the morning. Today's guest is an information technology profession. He's a college professor. He's a podcaster, content creator who specializes in sharing tech topics on subjects like Windows, Macs, mobile devices, NFTs, and cryptocurrency, and a host of other things that add value to me in your life, pain points that we need to have answers for through YouTube how-to videos. Most importantly, he's a great husband. He's a devoted father to 4 wonderful children. He is a Christian, a man of God who serves in his house of worship. He has hobbies that he enjoys doing, but most importantly, he's a man who has a passion and a story on why he's on YouTube. This morning on the Huddle, we need to welcome the one, the only, Mr. Roy Richardson. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. I need you to do that for my live stream. I'm gonna like have that as the announcer, like announcer voice come in, Walter, and just
Okay.
have you do that intro, because and then hopefully I can live up to that, because all of that is true, but I'm only good at some of it sometimes. Just the husband part, I'm working on that. The father part, I'm working on that. So I never think you get fully trained up on those things. You just have to keep trying and keep trying. So yeah, hey, thank you, Walter, so much for letting me be in your show. I'm really excited to be here. So this is awesome.
Perfect. Hey, those of you who are joining us in the Huddle community on YouTube, let us know in the chat where you're watching us from. Especially those of you who are watching, let us know if you're team live, or when you get the replay of this, give us a hashtag team replay in the comment section. So we're going to kick this live stream show off. 5 tips on how to have an engaging live stream show. And so my first question to you is, Roy, tell our viewers about how you found your passion and purpose on doing content creation through YouTube.
Well, so one of the things you mentioned is that I'm a college professor and part time as well. So I teach at a local university and a local technical college. And a lot of times I would explain concepts to my students in class, and then they'd have more questions later. And so I started doing videos that were tutorials on the topics I covered in class. And so strangely, some of those videos still get a lot of views on my channel. They're like
Mhm.
3 or 4 years old, some of them, but I'm like, wow, there's people still watching it. I love teaching others, and I love explaining things and trying to break it down into the most simple of terms so that anybody can understand it. And so I'm really geared toward helping beginners. I help advance folks in my professional job. Folks that are supposed to know everything, but every one of us starts off. I started off. I'm a beginner, and so I love doing that. And so I've just started doing YouTube. And last year, in 2021, there was a Lita challenge live every day in April, and I said, "Oh, well, this is intriguing." So I joined that, went live April 13th of last year, and I've been going live every week ever since. So I'm getting ready to have my first year anniversary. I'm going live. So I've had a YouTube channel for a long time. It was just a place to put tutorials for my students and anybody else that wanted to watch.
Mhm.
And so, yeah. And then, of course, I'm one of those people that has to research the heck out of things.
Mhm.
So how do you do this? And once I learn how to do something, I immediately want to share it because learning something and not sharing it is a waste of time.
Definitely,
So,
definitely, and we, like I said, we all have that start where we can't despise small beginnings in doing live streaming and online content, but here's something, we depending on if you have a great following or if you have an audience of people already set in place when you go live streaming. Most of us, when we first started, we're going to start it with maybe 1 to 2 people or no one at all. So in those first beginning of you doing live streams, tell our audience how you were able to go through that stage of doing live streams when no one was watching, and how did you keep yourself going?
yeah, I mean, that's definitely tough. The audience of one, whoever's looking at the video, that's your audience. And so, therefore, the first live streams, I guess the audience were the folks that watched, the replays. But I had some support. I had a group that I was in, kind of a mastermind group that I joined on Facebook, and they were so supportive. And there would be 1 or 2 of them that would show up for every video when I first got started. Well, not the first few ones, but then after that, they realized, oh, he's really going to try to do this thing. And so, you know, but when nobody watches, I still you're out there and I'm talking to you and I want to help you and I'm going to give you the information whether you see me live or watch me in a replay. And so I just try to make a video that has useful information for anybody that's watching, whether they catch me live or after. So, and again, hashtag team replay if you're you're watching it after it goes live. So yeah, I
Definitely.
that's I'm having fun. This is a fun journey. I've enjoyed this so much.
Definitely. Speaking of audience and people who are watching Team Live, we got to give a shout out to the legend all the way from London, Mr. Ash Boland, who's just tuning in, who also says, let me go to his next comment where he says, yeah, you go through that period of time of 0 people when you're doing it. But guess what? That's when you begin to find out, are you just doing this as a hobbyist? Or do you have a reason for your why you're going live? And so your reason for why is not so predicated on who the audience is watching at that moment, but you have a message you have to be able to get out. And then we want to say good morning to Mr. Marcus
Hey, Marcus.
Shrub. Forgive me, Marcus, if I remember Matt Shrub from the Atlanta Falcons, so I apologize if I'm pronouncing your last name similar like that quarterback back in the days at ATL. But I want to thank you for being a part of the Huddle community and joining us this morning. And we pray as we share this content, you get some great value out of what we're sharing here. We're talking about 5 engaging tips or 5 tips on how to have more of an engaging live stream. So let's get into these tips. So, like you said, we go through that period or season where it's what I call the dress rehearsal.
Yep.
It's the dress rehearsal. So we all want the recital of everyone in the audience to watch us in the live stream, and everyone and the chat is rocking and rolling. If you've ever watched Nick Nimmin, and they got tons of people. If you watch John Campia's show on YouTube where he talks movie and entertainment, and the chat is rocking and rolling. You got a moderator with the chat, but for most of us, we're in the dress rehearsal. So these tips are to encourage you how to have an engaging live stream. Tip number 1, Roy, plan out your show. How have you been able to take this tip and put it into practice to make it engaging, though you may have a few or no one in the audience?
So this a lot of people call this run of show, which seems, why don't you call it the show run? But I don't know. Run of show. This is what they call it. It's a technical term they use. So if you say run of show and somebody else is like a production kind of person, they know what you're talking about. And to that initial start, you have to make 50 to 100 bad videos. So just be aware of that. You have to make those bad videos before you get good. And the fact that
That's
you keep
all? Can't I
trying.
do 100?
Well, I think I'm doing 150 bad ones so far, so I'm still working on it. My goal is to get to 200 bad videos, and then maybe 201 will be the one. But so every time I do a show, and you do the same thing, I plan out what my show is going to be like. Of course, part of that planning is, am I going to have a guest? Who is that guest? Get in touch with that guest, reach out to them, and kind of organize how we're going to communicate with each other. I jokingly call it rules of engagement. What are the rules of engagement for this? Well, engagement. So we're going to talk and talk about a different topic. So I plan out, what the show starts out with, an intro. I then plan out if I'm going to ask, if I have pre-planned interview questions for my guest. If they're going to be really complicated, let's say essay questions, I will oftentimes send those to my guest ahead of time and say, look, here are the questions I'm going to start with. And of course, your answers are going to lead to more questions, of course, but I just wanted to make sure you had some time to think about what we're going to talk about, so it winds up being a very engaging show. And then the other part of that is that by having a run of show, you can make sure your show doesn't run long or that you stay on topic, because one of the challenges of going live is it's so easy to talk for an hour in the intro and you never get to the meat. And that's why you want people to join your show anyways, for the meat and potatoes that you're going to give them as part of watching your show. So I do a run of show. And for my show lately, I've been doing an interview section. I do a thing what I call going to the boards, where I do a PowerPoint presentation. It's not as boring as that sounds. I just use it as a visual for talking points with my guest, and we kind of go up in the corner there. And then I end my show with what I call lightning round, where I do this or that questions and hit them. And so I give them the whole run of show and say, this is how it's going to be. And then after the lightning round, it's probably going to be the outro, unless we have other thoughts to share.
Definitely. So, hey, got to give a shout out to first timer 100% true. I appreciate this compliment so much, because you did not give me 100%. You gave me 99%. And I appreciate that, because looking at my stream this morning and how I set everything up, I'm still not satisfied. So I thank you for this compliment, that there is still opportunity for growth. Welcome to the Huddle. I pray that, yeah, I said it just right. I pray that this live stream, if you see some opportunities for growth, continue to pump those in the chat. And as you check out the replay and in the comment section, give me any opportunities for growth that you can provide us 100% truth, and we will definitely put it into practice. But I agree with you. Planning out your show, Roy, is so important, especially if you don't have anyone watching, because it's a discipline. It's a discipline that you're putting into practice. So when you do start to get engaged with viewers, you will be able to make them feel not just a part of the show, but a part of the community that you, and I know as men, we don't want to use this term because we don't like the whole process of 9 months being pregnant, but let's just call it for what it is. You're birthing a community. And so this run of show is just one aspect of you birthing your community to make it engaging. Because if I'm a part of a live stream, and I don't want to go on a tangent, I do understand why people do subscribe only in their chats, so people can't contribute to it. But at the same time, when you're in a subscribe only mode, you're basically telling me, for me to be a part of something, I got to join something, but you don't necessarily know if this is really a good fit for me. So I have that school of thought of subscribe only versus just go ahead and open the door and find my community. But I think by running show, it's going to help me sift those people out. What's your thoughts on that, Roy?
Well, so I tried that as an experiment there for a while, where I just did subscribers only, because I had an issue where a couple episodes I had trolls just come in and try to disrupt things. And right now I don't have a moderator to kind of help me in that. It's a one-person show. I try to run the whole thing myself. And so, trying to squash trolls as they were coming in, they were posting links and stuff that just didn't have any business being in my stream.
Okay.
And so I saw a lot of YouTubers going subscribe only, but you're right. That totally takes away engagement. Somebody that's just now visiting your channel for the first time that gets prompted by something you say or something you do in your live stream is, oh, I got this great question. Walter, can you answer this question for me? And so you take away that opportunity for them to do that. Now, hopefully they'll be nice enough and come back later and put in the comments. But yeah, I have gone back. I don't lock mine down to subscriber only anymore.
Mhm.
And I've set up some filters to try to just block out certain words because there's an option in YouTube Studio where you can block certain words from being posted, and you can
Mhm.
also stop links from being posted. So I locked that down. And so I think I'm a little better off than I was previously as far as trolls go. On the bright side, it's great to be so popular. Trolls come and visit your show because it means people are finding you.
That's true. And it's called baptism by fire. Now people are really vetting if you are really legit, and are you going to be
Yeah.
moved by some of the antics that they want to try. But at the
Yeah.
end of the matter, at the end of the day, when you have something that's truly legit, or as our viewer 100% true, the false and the fake people, they can't hang around. They
No, they go away.
they go away after a time. Hey,
They do.
if you're getting great value out of this live stream discussion on 5 great tips on how to have an engaging live stream, I need you to do me a favor. Click the like button, share this on your favorite social media channel, and hashtag getting value this morning. Hashtag getting value. Tip number 2, have a great opening hook. Now, we all have our own unique ways, but you got to have a hook at least to get me hooked on
Yes.
why I need to watch this. Your thoughts on that, Roy?
Oh, I mean, absolutely. It's the value proposition that I or Walter are promising you that we're going to deliver when you spend time with us. I mean, time is not free. Every minute of our lives, we can't get that back. And so, if you're going to be here, I need to give you something in return that makes it worth your while to be here. I'm either got to give you some wisdom you didn't have. I've got to provoke thoughts that you haven't had before about something. If nothing, I'm giving an opposing viewpoint, and you feel more affirmed in how you feel about something because you disagree with me. And what I say is like, that's exactly why I disagree with you. Or could be you do agree with me. I wouldn't do that. Don't agree with me. But anyway, and then so it's, hey, welcome to the show. We're going to give you 5 things that you need to know in order how to make your live streams more engaging. That's what the value proposition is for this episode. So stick around and let's give you those tips. So yeah, that's what that's all about.
Right. And if you hook them right, they will be able to say, hey, I will try you out for a minute, especially if you come by a great recommendation, either by 100% True or Marcus or my man Ash all the way from London. Ash is like, yo, man, you don't have to do that every time. But I mean, the simple fact that he watches me at 4 or 5 in the afternoon in London, to me, that's something that says to me, I've earned his I've earned something from him, his engagement. And that's when you are taking these tips and you're putting them into practice. That has a great run of show. You got a great hook that people will start watching you even overseas. I see you there 100% true. Thank you for that compliment about me being a classy man. I don't really consider myself classy, but humble. Humble man that who wants to add value. So thank you for that. Ash is there in the chat. Oh, you're moving from over to mobile. All right, I hear you, big man. From mobile to laptop. See now he getting ready to go to the laptop and get into his office. Tip number 3: provide informational tips. Not ranting about something on live
No.
stream. Not sharing your opinion of the moment, but informational tips that'll make it engaging. Your thoughts on that, Roy?
Absolutely. So, here, this is kind of a lot of people like to watch listicles where they say, oh, give me the top 5 tips for this or the top 10 tips for that. And I use like PowerPoint or Keynote because I don't like teleprompters. they just don't feel natural to me. I know if I practice, I can make a teleprompter work probably, but it's not natural. I'd rather just have kind of bullet points and talking points and go off of that. And so you've got to have something that's providing information that helps kind of guide the conversation and just interacting with the community and that type of stuff. So it's just so I do listicles and I'll do my 5 tips for this, and just like Walter's done for this show, we got 5 tips. So stick around. We've got more coming up.
Definitely. And see, the making informational tips keeps you on point on who your audience is. But then when you especially learn that one of your audiences is all the way in Switzerland, it
Marcus
lets
is
me
from
know
Switzerland, yeah.
what time is it over there in Marcus, and because it lets me know I gotta make sure that I'm putting out that much great effort
6.
for what you may be 10, 12 o'clock in the evening time. So the simple fact I got Ash from London, Switzerland. Again, if you're just joining us, let us know in the chat where you're watching this from. We're going worldwide this morning,
Yes, we are.
international huddle. Hey, if 10 o'clock is the sweet spot that we get the world engaged, we may have to pump this back a little hour earlier. But let me know where you're. He said it's 4 p.m. as well, so it's 4 p.m. for him and Ash as well. But hey, we got Switzerland, we got London. Hey, if we got anyone else from another country, let us know, because we're going to continue to provide great, engaging content. So informational tips. Let me take that a step. When Roy, you're addressing a pain point in someone's life.
Yes.
When you're have just real briefly where you've come up with a tip for one of your show, and then one of your audience says, hey, this was something that really addressed a pain point in my life. What was that like for you?
Oh, see, that is the thing that I love about YouTube, is that people will reach out to me and say, I came up, I found this problem. I'm out on Facebook. I don't advertise that very much, but my Tech Trollmaker's out there on Facebook. And I've had people message me from Facebook and say, I'm having this problem. And I literally, wow, I have time. Let's go do this. I'll go to my computer and I will make a quick tip video about that pain point they're having. And I will post that and I'll send them a link. And those, crazy enough, have gotten a lot of views as well. So obviously, if one person's having that pain point, that is not the only person having that pain point. And so if you can help people, and that's the best YouTube shows are the ones that are helping people solve a problem. Absolutely. And that's my goal. What can I do to help you solve a pain point that you're having? So yeah, Walter, that's absolutely.
Definitely. I mean, and the simple fact that that person is now demonstrated a form of courage to share that with us, whether through Team Live or Team Replay, is something we, as I believe, as content creators, or if you want to call yourself a video influencer or a video advocate, whatever title floats your boat, we have to kind of view that as a great opportunity to be able to add value to someone's life and not waste their time. I agree with you, Roy. We got to have fun. We got to have passion. But I approach these live streams every Saturday and every other opportunity that I may do it as an opportunity to be able to make a difference in someone's life. And so when someone comes to me and say, hey, your live stream is speaking to a particular issue in my life, a pain point in my life, you're addressing a particular problem that I couldn't solve. It lets me know that I need to be able to be consistent with this. Now, is there ever going to be a live stream where we can just have fun and have some jokes and laughs? Sure, there's a time and a place for that. I'm not opposed to that. But here on the Huddle,
Christmas special.
Christmas, right? It's Christmas special. But this past 2 months, we did Women's History Month, because it was important for us to highlight female creators, and the response I've been getting from that now is other people who I had on, they're sending me now a list of other creators that they feel that they want to be on YouTube, or they're on YouTube, but they just feel like they're dealing with, like Ash said, the
Yeah.
discoverability issue that podcasters and live streamers did. Check out Ash every Friday morning at, I think, Ash, my time, 8 o'clock in the morning, your power of hour on Facebook. If you're not connected to Ash on Facebook, you look for Ash Bolin, just as you see on the chat. And he also is on YouTube, Ash Bolin, if you are into podcasting. Had to give that a quick plug.
What's a podcast? No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Well, you got me there. You got me.
No.
Podcasting is just being another form or vehicle to bring out great content. But there may be someone in our audience. It's a vehicle where you can be able to provide content through audio or video. But I'll put a link in the description, and you can watch our video podcasting live stream show with Ash and Steve Worthy. But great question,
show, by the way. That was a great episode.
Thank you.
So, and Steve was on my show, and we did about podcasting 101. So we talked about the basics of podcasting, and not to hype myself, but the fourth season of my podcast is coming out this month. It's a one-off tech podcast. And also I do it live on I live stream it on Tuesdays on my channel as well. So anyway, that's my blurb. I'll keep quiet now. This is all about Walter's show now.
Oh no, we're gonna hype you. I got a moment for you. I got a moment for you. We're gonna blow you up. When I blow you up, bro, we're gonna have you over in Switzerland and London and more. So you stay patient. I got your moment for you. If you're getting great value this morning out of this discussion on 5 tips to have an engaging live stream, I need you to smash the like button. I may even ask you to punch the like button. And if I dare say, bite the like button, so that way you can click the algorithm and let them know that you're getting great value. Share this on your favorite social media or platform. And if you haven't had an opportunity to subscribe to this channel where we help you broaden your reach, your impact, and income through online video, we would encourage you to subscribe and be a part of the Huddle community, which takes us now to tip number we went to 4. Engaging with your audience. There's, we can engage in many different ways, from comments through engaging with in the chat as we've been pulling people up. What have you found most effective in you doing your live stream shows to engage with your audience, Roy?
I love to ask my audience questions and have them put the answers in chat while we're going. I really love the chat, the folks that come out and they're watching the show and having conversations. They'll ask questions of me, and I get to answer them live. So there's about a 40-second delay, mind you, when I see the question. It's not like it takes forever. They're not waiting on an email to be returned back. They're getting an answer to that question right there on the show, if I can answer it. Sometimes they stump me, and I will go off and research it and come back and say, okay, this is what the answer to that question is. And then the other part is, and some YouTubers get upset with this, but I love when the chat, there are people communicating and talking to each other and having conversations that are related to what the show's about, but they're not directed toward me. I think that's just part of the community and slowly building a community. And I really want to leave the show, and all of us, we're all friends now, and we feel comfortable asking each other questions and talking and commenting and giving our opinion on things. And so I absolutely love engagement with the audience. And I will do shout outs to everybody, just like you've been doing. I like to do shout outs to everybody that's in my chat. Hey, Marcus. Hey, Ash. How you doing out there? Hey, 100%. Thank you so much for coming on the show. And just, I love that.
Definitely. So Ash says this live stream is addressing the problems that are highlighted for streamers at all types. You have to forgive me that, not just, okay. Forgive me there. Man, I need some glasses. Live stream is addressing the problems. It is highlighting creators of all types and not just some. I agree with 10 to 15 people we all know. Okay. I feel you. See, thanks, Ash. I need to know that feedback, because sometimes when we go off the air, I'll start beating myself up and say, oh man, I didn't cover this, I didn't cover that. But that feedback is so important for us as as people who are adding value to your audience through live streaming, lets you know you are engaging in ways that you don't even know how you're engaging. So that's so important. So
They also
important.
give you advice. Ash is saying you need to start that podcast.
Oh, see, I purposely didn't read that. I saw it. I saw it. You
Walter, you
know
have a
what?
great voice, man. It'd be perfect for a podcast. It's great for YouTube, but it's also be great for a podcast as well. So
I'm gonna put myself on the spot, and I'm gonna ask my editor to maybe even turn this into a clip. I got everything I need to start this podcast. The only thing that's stopping me is two things. One, putting the cheeks in the seat and doing it. But two, what should my first introduction of my podcast be?
I
Should I
see.
should I should I start at as introducing who I am? And I'm putting myself out here, Huddle community. So if you got to hit me with the chats, go right ahead. Should I start it with a Huddle introduction of who I am, or should it be about what the show is going to be about? And so I'm constantly in my head saying, um, what should this first show be about? And it's like I want it to be just like I plan out these shows, and I realized my first live stream wasn't perfect. And maybe I just need to just take the tip from my first live stream that I did ever and just do the first podcast. But that's at this point, truthfully, that's what's stopping me. The cheeks in the seat and what I believe. Um, and it's not that my chair is so small that I can't fit it in. I'm fitting in it right now. But
You're
that's
looking
what's
for
stopping me.
intentionality. That's what you mean.
Right.
And so for a podcast, and I don't want to divert too much, we got to get back
Well,
on topic, but a podcast does the same. You do the same thing in a podcast that you do with YouTube. You give engaging content where you solve a problem or you tell a entertaining story. My channel is edutainment, so I want to make you laugh while I teach you something at the same time, or while I share information with you at the same time. A podcast is the same way. Now, it could be that your podcast goes in a different tangent than your YouTube channel does, and that's perfectly fine. That's you just set that groundwork from the beginning and say, well, this podcast is going to be about this. My podcast originally started off being about tech news and how I thought it impacted people, and I'd have a guest on, and we'd interview and we'd talk about how this affects people, and that was how it started. But then last year, I started taking my YouTube show and taking the audio from that, and then did my audio podcast. And I thought at first that wasn't going to translate. People are not going to want to see you talk about something they can't see on the screen. And crazy enough, the amount of viewers went up. I didn't understand that. I don't know. I guess, it's easier to listen to my podcast in the car than it
mhm.
is to watch it on YouTube. If I'm walking, I am doing exercise. This is when most people listen to podcasts anyway, is when they're doing something that they can do two things at once. They can multitask. And watching a YouTube video, it's kind of hard to multitask. You have to be 100% focused. But on a podcast, the podcast can be playing in your ears, and you'll
Mhm.
be listening for nuggets of knowledge and wisdom and entertainment. And so that can be happening. And so the audio of my live stream is working great as a podcast. And,
Mhm. Mhm.
I'm approaching 7,000 downloads of my podcast. I'm like, this is amazing. So,
Wow.
and
Congratulations.
I do zero hype for it whatsoever. So I'm like, wow, I can't believe this many people, are listening to my show. So, you know, Walter, you just got to figure out. But anyway, that's the end of the podcast segment that I'm going to be involved in. We'll move on back to the topic of creating engaging live streams now.
No, this is engaging as well because Ash, I will hit you after we go off the air to see what's a good time for me and you to jump in the call. And Marcus says, Walter, just start and get that content out. So you're right, gentlemen. You're right. I just got to do it as the commercial Nike says. I know how to talk, so that ain't the issue. It's just a matter of just doing this and enjoy the journey of the podcasting experience, and that's what we're going to do, which takes us to tip number 5: keeping your replay viewers, all your team replay individuals in the comment section who will watch the replay of this. Give us a hashtag team replay. We love you to pieces just being a part of this great Huddle community. But how has this tip, have you seen how it's really impacted your live stream show, Roy?
So when I'm doing my shows, I try to keep the replay viewers in mind. Like you're doing, hey, tell me where you're watching from, leave a comment, ask me a question that I didn't get a chance to ask the interviewer when I was live, and then I will try to get back to you and tell you what the answer to that question is, because hopefully your content has provoked them to think of something. They weren't available to watch it live for some reason. I was at the dentist, or or I had to go pick up kids from school, or hey, it's Saturday morning, I had to go cut grass. And so leaving questions in the comments, and then you say, oh, well, that's a great question, I wish I had asked that on the show, and I'll go ask the interviewer and put that out there. You absolutely need to reply to every single comment that gets put on your videos, except for trolls. You never feed trolls, never
Okay.
feed the trolls. But the comments, you need to reply to every single comment that's made, because those are people that took the time to watch your video and thought enough about what you did to leave a comment and say something. And so, just as important as these wonderful people that are in the chat with us right now as this video is live, interacting with them is so important, because they're amazing. They're taking time to watch your video. They're interacting. They're actually making the show better, because they're saying things that are provoking us to talk about other things and to go deeper on topics we're talking about. And so that is why it's so important to keep the replay viewers in mind as well. And yeah, and you say, hey, watch to the end. I've got something cool we're going to talk about at the end, that type of thing, whatever it takes to engage those folks to watch, and just encourage them to comment, encourage them to hit that big like button. If you haven't hit it already, go hit the like button here. This is the Huddle, and Walter needs your feedback to say it was amazing. And YouTube also needs to know, hey, by the way, Walter's amazing, and other people need to watch this. And that like button's how you get feedback. And so consider the like button applause.
Exactly.
And
And I'll go one step further. Team replay, even if we say something here on the Huddle and you don't like it, that's what the dislike button. I realize this may not be popular to say, but if you don't if you don't like it and you want to hit this dislike button, go ahead and hit the dislike button too. That's engagement. But I would also say provide an opportunity for growth. Tell me why you didn't like it. Am I too loud? Okay. Am I too excited because I had too many cups of coffee? I need to trim down on the coffee. Tell me why. And then we will do our best to make you add value to you in the replay portion of it. Or if you need to see a different type of clip that we do, which I appreciate Ash. So Ash, I listen in certain points. We got clips now. Ash was on me about doing clips for the live stream. So there's hope for me, Ash. There's hope. Marcus, there's hope for me. If you'll see some of my clips from the interviews from previous huddles. So the podcasting is just there. It's like the woman getting ready to give birth. I haven't broke water yet. To all my sisters out there, you know what I mean. But hey, if you're getting great value out of this discussion of 5 great tips of having engaging live stream, punch the like buttons by clicking the thumbs up and share this on your favorite social media channel. If you're on LinkedIn, share it on LinkedIn, because that is fertile ground for live streaming for us as content creators. And I'll throw this curveball to you, Roy. Have you had an opportunity to do any live streaming on LinkedIn, and your thoughts about how LinkedIn is starting to get into live streaming?
They're reaching out and saying, please do live streaming out there. And so I have been thinking what topics I want to do. I have started posting my videos from YouTube out there, which has been getting me a lot of traffic. I've been very pleased with that. People have been watching, they've been commenting on my videos on LinkedIn. And so LinkedIn is fertile ground. It's a new horizon. I think of LinkedIn, and most of us do. LinkedIn is a kind of a business place that's much more serious. So I only want to put my content that's serious. I don't mind having myself having fun along the way, but things that I think will benefit people the most, I'm trying to put those out there and put links to those. And so I do need to work toward pivoting a little bit and putting some comment out there of some content out there on LinkedIn. But I'm trying to focus completely on the YouTube channel because it's so hard to do
Mhm.
everything well. And so I'm just posting links to my YouTube videos there for now. But I do see a time when I'm going to do some dedicated videos for YouTube, for LinkedIn. You know what I'm saying? But
Definitely.
yeah, I do like LinkedIn. I have a lot of followers out there. It's kind of surprising. So I do probably I have never taken advantage of that audience. And so I should. It's already a canned world, and I just need to provide content for them to watch and comment on and give me feedback on. And then
Definitely.
going back to another thing about the comments, with your replay viewers, you get so many video ideas from the
Mhm.
comments from people that watch and replay. So many great content suggestions. Oh, can you do a video about running Linux on Parallels on a Mac? I'm like, well, I did one video about that, and somebody said, I'd like to see more. And so I'm in the process of thinking through the process, what that will look like, and just go back to my tutorial teaching Linux in school days and say, okay, I'm going to show you how to do things with Linux. And so, yeah, I mean, there's some great ideas of what your audience wants right there.
And see, this one right now for Marcus is a great
Yeah.
video content idea. The replay audience is usually much bigger than your live stream audience. So we never must forget about them and the power of our replay team of replay viewers. That is something that even when you're starting out and you say, but Walter, I did a live stream and I didn't have anyone watching for the last 3 weeks. Right now, this is a dress rehearsal. You know,
Yeah.
one of my favorite basketball players, the late Kobe Bryant, he he played some of his best games in the dark at 2, 3 in the morning in a gym. That's where his best games were birthed and created for us to enjoy when he was a Laker. I want you to compare yourself as a live streamer, whoever your favorite athlete is, if it's football, basketball, baseball, if it's Carl Yastrzemski for my young timers. Notice I didn't say old timers, but my young timers. If you're a Carl Yastrzemski, if you're a Will Stargell, if you are a Ken Griffey Jr., if you are Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, if you would, whoever your athlete is, you need to understand the greatness that you see them put on the field of the court is a result of the greatness that they develop in secret when no one is watching. So if no
Yeah.
one's watching your live stream right now, that's the opportunity for you to be able to create engaging content for yourself to become more
Yeah.
engaging as a video host. I know I'm
That's,
preaching to the choir.
yeah.
Go, Roy. I mean,
No,
let me
no,
pass the
please.
mic to you and let you continue.
No, no, no. I was just going to say that the key thing that the best athletes have is just as you said, determination. They practice when nobody is watching so that when everyone's watching, they are at their best.
Mhm.
And you absolutely have to do that with your YouTube game, a live streaming game, your video game, whatever your content is. You need to give your audience the very best of you. That's the only way to be authentic, is to be the best of you and do everything you can to provide the best value you can for them.
Boom. Roy just dropped the mic. We will pick it up just for a couple of more comments and then we will end the show. But he just effectively dropped the mic on that subject matter. So moving on. 3 things you wish you knew, Roy, before you began your content creation journey.
Well, the first one is that, so the problem is there's a perfectionist trapped in a very flawed person here. So I thought the first thing I thought was that I have to be perfect to be on camera,
Mhm.
and then I thought I had to have the perfect equipment. But when I first started, I went live with a Logitech webcam. And no, it wasn't 1080p, but well, it was actually. But it's just you don't have to have perfect equipment. 720p. I know I'm getting the technical stuff, but the point is, just get your phone. Just get your phone. Get whatever USB mic you can get if it plugs into your computer, or you can get mics that work with your phone. Go live. Hit that button. I was waiting for myself to reach some perfection level. I was waiting until I bought the perfect software. I was waiting until I had the perfect equipment. I waited until I had the perfect lighting. I bought so many things that I never needed. And so if equipment is what is holding you back, stop now, get your phone or get whatever camera you have and start. That's
Mm.
that's it. And you still have to do this 50 or 100 bad videos before you break through and find your true authentic self on camera. You're going to make so many mistakes, and it is fine. You have to give yourself grace. That is the
Mhm.
biggest thing in this whole process, is that anytime you do a creative endeavor, you have to give yourself grace to let yourself make mistakes. And the people that are watching you are going to forgive you for those mistakes because they know that they're on a similar journey. They're learning as well in
Mhm.
life. And we don't get an instruction manual. What we do have the Bible, but we don't have a book that says, here's how to. You just have to figure out a lot of things on your own. And so give grace to the people you're watching,
Mhm.
and give grace to creators.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
And and I say as a bonus tip, start with, if you want to live stream and you say, well, YouTube seems to be a bit of a challenge for you. Maybe start on Facebook.
Yeah.
Just, I remember my days before I started doing live stream shows on YouTube, where all I would do was practice on Facebook Live. You talk about no viewers. I got no viewers. I didn't get no family and friends. There's just all watchers on video. I got nobody. But I would constantly get on in front of the mic and just, you know, talk as if I was just talking to one person. If I could just
Yeah.
help one person through what I was sharing at the time. And one day I got the courage to say, okay, I'm going to move over to YouTube. And so once you move over to YouTube, after doing so much on Facebook or IGTV or wherever you want to do, if you're on Twitch, once you kind of graduate, then you have, as a bonus tip, live stream software. Now, for my Mac users, I'm gonna let Roy speak to that from a Mac standpoint. But for my PC or Mac, StreamYard. Now, this is not sponsored by either Ecamm or StreamYard, but we just telling it like it is. If you use StreamYard is an excellent piece of software that's going to help you to create an engaging live stream where you can engage with your audience as we've been doing today. If you want more information about StreamYard, there is a referral link in the description that you can click on, and it will help you get started on your StreamYard journey. If you need some help on some tutorials on it, you can hit me up and we'll definitely set up a time and provide some coaching on helping you to set up a StreamYard show for you and your audience. But from an Ecamm standpoint, if they're ready to take the journey from Facebook Live to Ecamm, what advice would you give our Mac users?
Well, I'm gonna say, first of all, I think everybody should start with StreamYard, and the reason I say that is that it's so easy. It takes away a lot of excuses. It actually works great. I've had a StreamYard account for a while, just a free one, and I play with it occasionally, and it's got all the features you need. It absolutely does. But I'm an IT professional. I like gadgets and I like tweaking things, and so uh, I had downloaded a product. I had bought a product because I was doing podcasting first before I came to YouTube, and I needed to be able to record Skype interviews. And so Ecamm had this program called Ecamm Call Recorder, and so I bought that. Great product, by the way. If you do Skype and you do for podcasting, it does a great job of recording the audio for that. But anyway, later on, they emailed me one day and said, "Hey, we've got this new product that will record, connect to Facebook, and let's do Facebook Live." I thought, oh man, and see, my inner person that wanted to do YouTube, but again, I still had to perfect things, and I hadn't yet. But it sounded so good, and while it was a little expensive, they offered me a deal, and so I bought the software. So I'm an OG for Ecamm,
Mm-hmm.
and they have just kept adding features and features and features, and it's phenomenal. But it's but if you're on a PC, probably vMix is probably the Cadillac for PCs. Now, there's
Mm-hmm.
another program out there completely free called OBS, Open Broadcast Service, and it's free. It's just not as user friendly. It's gotten a lot better. It's not very user friendly. It is also a great way to start if you don't want to invest any money at all and you have the patience to watch a lot of YouTube videos to figure it out. OBS is great software as well. And then you may want to do really cool things with overlays and all kind of lower thirds and that type of thing. Both StreamYard allow that. Ecamm does too. I like Ecamm because I can swap two scenes very easy.
Mm-hmm.
StreamYard has that as well. But I love the ease of use of Ecamm. And it's where I started long before there were web-based versions of streaming like Streamlabs. I mean, StreamYard. StreamYard is pretty new. It's only been around for just a couple of years. So
Mm-hmm.
maybe 4. But yeah, so I started with Ecamm. I'd already bought it, so it was easy to, and I just kept the support going, and so it's been great. It's just fantastic. So
All
so
right.
yeah,
There
and
you
Ash
have it.
says he uses both. He uses
Yes,
both.
Ash says he does use both, and so we may have to put a panel live stream show of Ecamm and StreamYard for a future show. So
Yeah,
to take this discussion on making an engaging live stream, so that's something that we will put on the books in the coming weeks of the huddle. Go
I
ahead.
just want to say one thing: do
Mhm.
not let software be the reason you don't go live. You
Great
can go
point.
live right from your camera, right on the YouTube, without any other software but a web browser, or you can go live right into Facebook without any software, just using a web browser or using the Facebook or YouTube apps. So don't let software stop you. And then StreamYard has a free version. Go use it. Go hit
Mhm.
that button. Make content. If you need help, reach out to Walter. Reach out to me. That's been the focus of my channel lately. Is here's how you do this on YouTube. So I have watched all the Sean Cannell courses. I have done so many things, and so it's one of those cases where I've learned all the wisdom. I just haven't got around to implementing it yet because I have a very busy life and I can't do YouTube full time. I want to, but I can't. But one day I will. So I slowly increase. I get better 0.001% every time.
That's right.
One day
1%
I'll
better.
get 1% better every time. But right now it's 0.001%. And that's where I'm at. And I keep moving forward. So
Definitely, definitely. Hey, and speaking in terms of people needing to get in contact with you to get more information, we have it all in the description. But just share with our audience what's the best way. Where are all the roads that lead to Tech Troublemaker?
I'm everywhere. No. So YouTube, you can type in techtroublemaker.live and it will take you right to my YouTube channel, or you can go on YouTube and search for Tech Troublemaker and it will find me. I am on Facebook as Tech Troublemaker. I am on Instagram as Tech Troublemaker. I am on TikTok as Tech Troublemaker. I haven't done much there, so don't go there. But and then I'm also on Twitter. But on Twitter, my username is short. It's Tech Trouble MKR because Twitter won't let me buy the extra vowels to spell out troublemaker. So that's just as far as I can get my name. So if you look for me out there, I'm also active out there as well. So those are all the places, but the best place to find me is right on my YouTube channel. And if you want to reach out to me, you can send me an email, hello@techtroublemaker.live, and I will respond to you. So that's all the ways to get in touch with me. But you can also reach out to Walter, and Walter can tell you how to get in touch with me. Yeah.
Yeah, you can use me as a vehicle of instrument, and I will point you in the right direction of that Tech Troublemaker. Marcus says, "Hey, let nothing stop you from going live. Not Memorex for all you young people out there. Not Memorex, live. Let
Yep.
nothing stop you from going live. Not Memorex." But Roy, thank you so much for taking time out your schedule, sacrificing time with your family to be on the huddle. We're very sensitive to that because I realize Saturday it can be a day of importance for a family after spending 5 days a week of work. And so I appreciate you taking the time to do that. And so, question of the day is and I say this, let me be careful because I don't want to offend nobody, but we all have a come to Jesus moment.
Yeah.
My come to Jesus moment this morning was I need to stop procrastinating about this podcasting. So I know Ash is going and Roy and Marcus and those of you Team Replay are going to help us get the huddle on podcasting, not in a few months, but in the next few weeks, in the next few days, to get this first episode of this podcast live. So that's my come to Jesus moment, that it's time to do this. What is your come to Jesus moment in terms of what's stopping you from you having an engaging live stream show? If you're Team Live, kindly put it in the chat. If you are Team Replay, please put it in the comment section. So together, whether if it's podcasting, live streaming, or even uploading your first video, we all can take that step and punch fear in the face and press record, as our good man Sean Cannell loves to say. I gotta give props to who says it. So, and I agree with him. You gotta punch. If you gotta punch, if you gotta kick, if you gotta bite, if you gotta claw, do whatever you gotta do. Because I know I gotta do when it comes to this podcasting thing. So I may even have to do a body slam since it's WrestleMania weekend. I may have to do a Superman punch for Roman Reigns on this podcasting thing. But thanks so much, Roy, for being a part of the huddle this morning. I truly appreciate you sharing all your wisdom. We definitely want to have you back for, I like this fact that having a live stream show where we can talk about Ecamm, we can talk about StreamYard, maybe have someone on the panel that has Restream, where we can kind of talk about the differences in the software so that it can help someone find the right one for them in their live stream journey and putting out great content. So definitely want to have you back for that.
Well, thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. I always enjoy hanging out with you, sir. You're a lot of fun. So thank you for having me on your show. And thank you to all the folks that are watching out there for just hit that like button. You got to support Walter. This is a great show, and you definitely want to support the huddle. And when he gets to be a podcast, he's going to tell us all where it's at, and we're all going to go listen to it. So we're ready for you, man.
All right. There it is. Hey, Ash, Marcus, 100% true. You're my man. He didn't give me a 99% because he knows there's a 1% opportunity for us to get better. Thank you for calling it like you see it. And those of you, Team Replay, give us thoughts, feedback in the comments. We will see. This Monday at 7 p.m., we're having a special huddle live stream show with Miss Samantha Mathis from Just Inspire Samantha.
She's awesome.
So we are having her come on. We're going to continue on in our series of amazing women on YouTube. So grab yourself something to eat, your favorite beverage, and put us on live and on the television, and come join us in a great discussion of why we want to highlight female creators on online creation. So we'll see you Monday at 7 p.m.
I was going to say, you got to subscribe to her mailing list because she sends you inspirational thoughts every day. She is awesome. I love Samantha.
All right.
So it's going to be a good show.
It's going to be a good show. We'll see you on Monday evening.
Bye.